These very simple tips will make you a better wacky rig angler immediately. Number one is I love to switch on my spinning reels a high vis braid and then use a fluorocarbon leader. Personally, I like high vis yellow, but any high vis color is going to work good. You may be asking, Steve, why are you going to do that? Well, so many times on that wacky rig bite, the bass just kind of slurp it up and either hang right there or slightly start to swim off. You don't always feel a very defined thump, especially if they hit it on the fall. Well, when you've got that high vis braid, seeing movement, okay, or seeing the slightest twitch in the line, one you may not even feel up with your hands, is so much easier to detect with high vis braid. And then, like I said, with that fluorocarbon leader, the fish aren't going to see the line. So I'm telling you, that has worked so well. Increased the number of fish I catch wacky rigging exponentially just with that simple change. Number two is be aware of your fall rate on your wacky rigs. There are stick baits on the market like crazy. We could probably name off immediately 10 to 15 types of brands that have stick baits. Well, the fall rate on those lures are different. You've got some that are Lastec that are pretty much going to float, so you've got to have some substantial weight to pull them down. That's a very distinct fall rate. Then you have salt added lures. So it's a regular plastisol lure with salt added, which means it's just salt on the exterior, okay? That's going to sink differently. And then you have salt impregnated lures, stick baits, where if you pull them apart just a little bit, you can see the salt actually in there. Those lures are very dense and going to fall at a different rate. So I have several different choices available. And if you're out there and you're just not feeling that you're getting the bites that you should, or they aren't committing maybe quite the way you would like them to, change those fall rates. It can make a difference. And number three is the hook and how you rig it through that stick bait. I have tried about everything that's out there on the market, and there are some great wacky rig hooks and, O-rings and cross saddles and all this type of stuff. But I have found, for me personally, and if you have something different, please let me know, that if I just rig it like normal, right through the center of the stick bait, and make sure that that hook is perpendicular to the lure, I get a better hookup ratio than if, let's say, I use an O-ring, which I've done a ton, and that hook is parallel with the lure. I still catch fish, but I feel that my hookup ratio is better with a perpendicular hook through the lure. Now you can get, like I said, cross saddles that will keep it there like that, and there's other manufacturers that have different accessories that can keep that hook at a perpendicular angle to it. But if you're using the traditional O-ring, try it the other way a little bit and just see what you think, and go ahead and let me know. The one downside, of course, is when you do that without an O-ring or a saddle, you could go through a ton of baits. And speaking of hook selection, if you would like to watch a video on what for me personally was a game changer and the type of hooks that I use for different applications, go ahead and check this one out right here. And make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.